I'm Dr. Aaron Tucker, Assistant Professor, Department of English. I worked with Dr. Paul Chafe at Toronto Metropolitan University on an open education textbook called Right Here, Right Now. It was intended to be a first-year writing and research textbook built around the flipped classroom model. So it included text around academic writing and research at a first-year level, integrated with video lectures. So the idea was students would watch the video lectures on YouTube at home, then they would come into the class having done the lecture and work on the writing in the class with the professor in the class ready to give them feedback. Open education is about making lecture materials, whether that's the lectures themselves, textbooks, slides, these things available for public access for students in particular, I would say, to be activated within the classroom. I chose to write it in part because I was really frustrated with the textbooks that were available to me. And when Dr. Chafe and I started talking, we wanted a textbook that was more adaptable and flexible, but also better suited to the classroom that we wanted to engage with and produce, which involved a lot of writing and editing and feedback in the classroom itself. One of the main motivators that kept me going on the project was the idea that this would be saving students a lot of money semester over semester. It was a course that served 1,400 students every year, so the idea that we could kind of save a substantial amount of money for students was really important to me. The open process really encouraged collaboration in the production of the book. So Dr. Paul Chafe and I worked on it, but we also were able to get chapters from Dr. Marin, who did illustrations for the videos and for the textbook, and Dr. Martha Adante. So it became a real collaborative team effort that I think was built directly out of this idea of open and open access, and was probably one of the more fulfilling aspects of the project. The tools have become easier to use, that content's been easier to create and distribute, and that students, I think, have a real literacy and affinity for it. It's never going to replace things within the classroom, but I think making texts and readings available to students, making the lecture material available in a variety of formats that are going to reach different unique learning capabilities, learning aptitudes, visual learners, textual learners, people who listen maybe better than they read. Open access is a way to kind of address a variety of learning environments and student needs. When I began the project, a lot of people were hesitant about the technological side of it. And again, I think a lot of the tools and the infrastructures within universities, in particular within Memorial, have sort of caught up to this idea. When we were making the textbook, it was 2018, and I do think we almost necessarily had to make up a lot of the things for ourselves. 7 years later, we've seen a consistent investment across different types of universities in open education resources that I think it would make it a lot easier now for my colleagues to engage in this. I think one of the neatest things has been how widely adopted this particular textbook has been across North America. One of my friends who teaches in Dawson City adopted it for their classroom, and it's been really interesting to see how this textbook, once you open it up and kind of distribute it widely, the different lives it gets, the different sort of places it ends up.